Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einem kleinen Spiel. Das Spiel heißt Stanley Parable und wir werden das jetzt mal mit noch zwei weiteren Kollegen spielen und wir wünschen euch viel Spaß dabei. Und wir werden jetzt mal das Spiel starten.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, of every month, of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So, wir spielen den Stanley. So, was können wir denn machen? Aha. Am PC können wir nichts machen, okay. Schöne Aussicht, ja. Gehen wir mal hier. Durch die Türen können wir auch nicht, okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Also eine Erzählerstimme begleitet uns anscheinend hier. Was will er denn von uns? Warum sollen wir in diesen Zimmer reingehen? Was meint ihr?
Also ich finde, das ist ziemlich einsam hier, also...
Es ist auf jeden Fall nicht viel los. Und zwei Türen.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nein, der Gang rechts rein. Der Stanley.
Ja, glaube ich auch.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ach, gar nicht wahr, ey.
Ich glaube, wir haben uns verlaufen.
Ich finde es auch interessant, dass hier die Putzfrauen so fleißig waren. Ich meine, hier liegt so viel auf dem Boden rum.
Ach, das sieht doch hier recht sauber aus.
Yes,
Ja, nur der
truly a room
Papierkram.
worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Also, ich kann nichts anklicken.
Da, Kaffee.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Überall die gleichen Bilder.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nee, das machte der nicht, glaube ich. Oder?
Sieht auf jeden Fall nicht einladend aus.
Nee.
Der hat die Tür übersehen und ist geradeaus jetzt gegangen.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So, Lagerraum ist wie beim Amazon, glaube ich. Ich glaube, da hinten ist meine PS4.
Oh ja.
Aber ich glaube, da ist ein bisschen mehr los.
Ja, das ist ein hartes PlayStation 4 ist.
Wohin gehen wir denn jetzt?
Kannst du klettern da hinter dir? Ja, so.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
Vergiss nicht stürzen.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
So, da sind wir ja schon mal
This is
oben.
it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Wer denn? Gehen wir mal hier lang. Oh scheiße, ist dunkel.
Naja.
Komm, geh mal durch.
Ich gehe rückwärts rein. Ne, doch nicht.
That's her,
Oh,
Stanley.
Telefon
Ah, das
klingelt.
für
You
mich?
need to be the one
Geh mal
to
ran.
do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Was passiert, wenn ich das nicht mache? Ja, ich muss.
Ja, geh mal ran.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Wow. Ah, ich kann nicht weg.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here.
du siehst
Ey,
Stanley.
ich werde nach vorne gezogen, glaube ich.
Das sieht ja schön aus.
Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay.
Sieht einladend aus.
Nö, ich gehe hier lang.
Sorry.
Oh, scheiße, habe ich mich
My
echt
story
weg.
now.
Da ist eine Wand.
Da ist eine Wand.
Nein, ich muss da reingehen. Ey, das ist schlimmer als Outlast. Nee, doch.
Nee.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Ey, die Tasse klappt nicht.
Könnte sein, dass das O gemeint ist.
Look at him
Oh Mann, ey.
Drückst auf der Null rum.
pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Ich glaube, er korrigiert mich gerade.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Nein, das machst du dir nicht.
Ups. Ich kann ja nichts anderes machen.
Doch. Mach mal was hier.
Kannst ja mal an der Puppe rumspielen.
Vielleicht geht's ja doch.
Ich muss auf die 6 drücken.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer.
Oh, es
How
ist
could there possibly
weggespawnt.
be?
Ich bin in meinem
In
Arbeitszimmer
reality,
wieder.
all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always
Naja,
has.
so
Nothing's
teilweise.
changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he
Könnte man
forgets
so
which
sagen.
Komm
life
hier
is
nicht
the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as
Ich glaube, wir haben den
remains
Erzähler
here,
verärgert,
he's
dass er
slowly
uns jetzt
killing
erstmal so
himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't
Ja, hier
stop.
foltert.
Here,
und
watch this.
40 Stunden in den Raum
The next time
einsperrt,
the
ey.
screen asks you to push a button,
Ist doch
do
scheiße.
not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here
Ey, kann
is
es sein, dass wir
electing
das
to
jetzt
kill
neu
himself?
anfangen?
How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Irgendwas noch 6 Uhr.
I suppose
Zeit
I
vergeht.
can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all
Okay,
this
okay,
to
wir
him.
versuchen es
I'm
noch einmal.
compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Bitte
And I
stirb.
tried again, and Stanley pushed a
Das
button.
klingt ein Land.
And I
Okay, ich sehe nichts.
Ja, doch, die weiße Schrift.
Oh, das fängt ja, glaube ich, von da an.
Oh, spiel mal weiter jetzt.
Es ist dunkler als vorhin.
All of his
glaube, wir sind
coworkers
woanders
were
jetzt.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Vielleicht hat er seine Erinnerungen. Okay, mhm.
Da geht's weiter.
Ja, ich hab's gesehen. Hä? Also.
Die
When
zwei.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door
Nee,
on his left.
der Gang noch rechts.
Ja, ich glaube, der Meetingraum ist immer noch rechts, glaube ich.
Ja, das ist doch falsch.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
Oh, man.
employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ja, mal gucken, was jetzt passiert. Also, wir sind jetzt hier so, ja?
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room.
Falsches Rule.
Thank goodness Stanley had taken this, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ja, komm, diesmal gehen wir mal links rein.
Ah, der sieht ja schön aus.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Ja, ich würde sagen,
Nö, wir müssen noch runter. Der Meetingraum ist doch ganz unten, oder nicht?
ja, das denke ich auch.
Kann ja nicht anders sein.
Dann gehen wir mal runter. Ja.
Ich meine so.
Es ist wieder dunkel.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Ja.
Wenn uns da überhaupt so eine Wahl gelassen wird, also.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Will er mich verarscht?
Dreh dich mal wieder
No,
um.
no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now,
Der
let's
blättert in
see.
sein...
Down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Irgendwie das Gefühl, dass wir gleich missbraucht werden.
Ja, ich muss wohl hier ran. Ne?
Stanley, 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 Stan
Hier gehen wir mal. Ja, top, top. Schön. Oh.
No, no. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to
Das können die Mitarbeiter sein, glaube ich. Ah, der wurde gefeiert.
It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Ich glaube, es fängt wieder von vorne an.
Geil.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go
Ein
to the
Déjà-vu.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, wie die Räume.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Der testet uns. Der will jetzt, dass wir die linke Tür nehmen. Aber...
Ich würde sagen, ganz rechts.
Ich würde sagen, du gehst mal darüber. Hier.
Ganz links?
Nee, da, ja. Geh mal da lang und dann links. Weil das sind ja normalerweise die Stühle im Weg. Das ist bestimmt gut.
Ah, guter Plan. Und wir gehen dann
Ja,
hier
nein. Spickt doch ein bisschen.
YOLO.
Ja, genau.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it
Der
unlikely
will
that we'll ever
unbedingt, dass wir
progress by
durch die linke
starting
Tür
over and
gehen.
over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Und schon wieder dasselbe.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Das alte Leid
Stanley
beginnt von
decided to
neuem.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nein, wir werden stur bleiben. Oh, die Türen sind weg.
Okay,
Oh,
it's worse.
sind weggespawnt.
Remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed
Warte
anything?
mal mit dem Ratzefummel schneller.
Also wir sollen zurück, oder?
Scheint so.
Ich hab gerade nicht zugehört.
Sonst wird ja keine großartige Wahl gelassen.
I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Will er mich
never
verarschen?
mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Das gibt das Spiel so ein bisschen
Okay, was ist hier passiert?
so einen Psychofaktor.
Now this...
So geiles Spiel.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Wir haben gewonnen.
Unser Wille kam
You
durch.
put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
Aber ist das wirklich das Ende?
No,
Nein,
I
ich
don't
denke
feel
nicht.
right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Wie oft wir neu starten.
Okay, das war das Ende.
Oh, dann. Ne,
All right, I've got a solution.
Wegesanzeige.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Oh,
Also da kann man ja nichts schief machen. Also
diesmal sollen wir nach rechts gehen.
Obwohl
Ich würde sagen, wir gehen mal rechts, da dem gelben Kack da.
Ja, den Adventure-Balken verfolgen wir jetzt. Okay. Guter Plan.
Das wird dann spannend.
The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination
komm, wir gehen mal.
still a story? Simply by the act of
Sollte da wohl
moving
schief gehen.
forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train
Ja,
of
ich würde
thought for a
sagen, das
minute.
geht.
Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to
Was ist hier
apologize.
passiert?
Okay, ich glaube, an der Wand können wir nicht lang gehen.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh, cool. Der Sound, der kommt mir bekannt vor.
Also das ist jetzt echt schon so eine Achterbahnfahrt. Diese schöne Musik und dazu.
Hey,
Mann, ich muss das abchecken.
da warst du schon.
Nein, hier war ich nicht.
Ich bin verwirrt.
Nein, der bringt uns wieder zu den zwei Türen.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Oh.
Wait, what? We're back at the office?
Ach komm, verarsch uns.
No.
Ah,
Line,
das
you
eine
do know we're looking
schwarze
for the Stanley
Linie.
Parable, right? The story?
Guck mal runter.
Is any of this ringing a
Ich
bell?
würde sagen, du musst der folgen, der hier.
Ja, der hier.
So.
Aber wir sind wieder angekommen.
Oh, no.
Spannerraum.
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh Mann.
Also
So,
es kann nur besser werden, würde
Also
ich
ich würde
sagen.
sagen, wir folgen mal der Linie nicht. Und wir tun das Let's Play mal jetzt ganz kurz stoppen. Nächste Woche wird dann die Folge 2 kommen. Der nächste Teil. Und wir wünschen bis dann viel Spaß. Und tschüss.
die Timemaker.